One of the biggest challenges that I know we're having, and everyone is having this, is that we've basically reached ad singularity in sports, especially and maybe we've reached ad singularity through all content. And with what I mean by that is ad singularity basically means that every jersey, backdrop, halftime show feels sponsored. And it is sponsored, right? Like every jersey has a patch on it. Every show is sponsored. Every cage has a logo on it. Everything is just commoditized at this point. How do you think about trying to make content that stands out in the age of ad singularity where fans just recognize it immediately as an ad and just scroll, specifically on Instagram or social media where you have to make sponsored content, right? Brands are paying for it, but how do you get it to perform? Because some of these posts that I've been seeing lately with some of these leagues and teams, they just flop. It's like, you know, not to name names, but it's like logo watermarked in the top corner of the post and it just does nothing, right? How do you think about trying to stand out during this time as a creator? Like you're a creative director, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think we had talked about this kind of on our last episode in terms of just kind of not to bring brain rot into this, but more so just resonating what our average consumer likes to watch. And I feel like in today's world with leagues and teams and stuff, these ads they feel so scripted and they feel so like it almost feels like we're not keeping up with our time. Like I think like the Buffalo Bills did a great job during the NFL season with interviewing Josh Allen and a lot of their team members and making it really funny, getting him gifts and stuff. And it was like very engaging content. And I think, for example, that is an opportunity for a brand to be a watermark because like that's like the type of content where if the gift they're giving or if the questions are sponsored by a company, then we're making content that's encapsulating to your average consumer, but it's also like being brought to you by a sponsor. And then you're almost like, I love this content the sponsor's bringing. Like, I feel like we need more positive anecdotes to the type of content sponsors are giving. And rather than it just being sell, 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 it's more like we're going to be the company that partners with leagues or teams or anything that's going to bring you the fun and amazing content you want to see. And then you're always going to think of our sponsor or our company as the one that's delivering you that and just bring positive brand entity to that company. And then inadvertently, obviously, just bringing it higher EMV and higher attention.
yeah, and there's an easy way for that for the brands to be making the content in-house on their side and just telling the league like, hey, we're gonna pay for the media buying opportunity, but we're gonna make our own content on this one.
Yeah, it's just like, it might be expensive depending on who you're working with, but at the end of the day, like, creative directors and creatives in general, they need to continuously be unique, being different. We can't just be copying old styles that are consistent. But how can we be fun? How can we be a little out there and make it where, the consumer's actually engaging with the content rather than listening to it?